Picture this. You're standing in a crowded boardroom, the air thick with tension. Your colleagues are staring at you, waiting for you to speak. Your boss just threw a curveball question your way, and all eyes are on you. Your heart's racing, palms sweaty, and you can feel that familiar knot of anxiety twisting in your gut. You've got two choices. Fumble through a half-baked response and watch your credibility crumble, or seize the moment, stand tall, and command the room's respect with a single confident sentence. What do you do? Moments like these, whether at work, with friends, or even at a family dinner, define how others see you. They're the make or break seconds where respect is either earned or lost. And let me tell you, there's no feeling worse than walking away knowing you let the moment slip through your fingers. But what if you could always be the person who commands respect, no matter the situation? What if you could walk into any room, a boardroom, a bar, or your own living room, and have people instantly sit up and take notice? That's exactly what we're diving into today, and we're going to do it with the help of a guy who wrote the ultimate playbook on power and respect over 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli. Yeah, that name might ring a bell from history class, or maybe a late-night Wikipedia rabbit hole. But trust me, this Renaissance philosopher isn't just some dusty old figure from the past. His ideas are as sharp and relevant today as they were in 16th century Italy. In his masterpiece, The Prince, Machiavelli laid out a no-nonsense guide to gaining and keeping power. He didn't sugarcoat things or preach about being a saint. Instead, he gave us political realism philosophy that says, forget ideals, focus on what works. And here's the kicker. His lessons aren't just for kings or politicians. They're for you whether you're navigating a tough workplace, dealing with tricky family dynamics, or just trying to hold your own in a world that's constantly testing you. Machiavelli's philosophy boils down to two key ideas: virtù and fortuna. Virtù is your ability to be skillful, clever, and adaptable. Think of it as your inner strength and smarts. Fortuna, on the other hand, is luck, the unpredictable chaos of life that can lift you up or knock you down. A true master, Machiavelli says, uses virtù to tame fortuna, turning challenges into opportunities. It's not about being the nicest person in the room, it's about being the most effective. And when you're effective, people can't help but respect you. So, buckle up, because we're about to unpack 6 powerful ways to command instant respect, straight from Machiavelli's playbook. These aren't fluffy self-help tips. They're battle-tested strategies for building a reputation that makes people sit up and listen. Whether you're leading a team, standing up for yourself, or just trying to make your mark, these lessons will help you navigate life's challenges with confidence and swagger. Let's dive in. 1. It's all about how others perceive you. Let's start with a story. Meet Jake, a new hire at a bustling tech startup. Jake's smart, hardworking, but painfully shy. On his first day, he stumbles through introductions, avoids eye contact, and mumbles his way through a team meeting. By week 2, his colleagues barely notice him. He's there, but he's invisible. Fast forward 6 months, and Jake's still struggling to get anyone to take him seriously. Sound familiar? Now, meet Sarah, who started the same day as Jake. Sarah's not necessarily smarter or more qualified, but she walks into the room like she owns it. She speaks clearly, shakes hands firmly, and always seems to know what's going on. When she talks, people listen. By month 3, she's leading projects and getting invites to the big strategy meetings. What's the difference? Machiavelli sums it up perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. In other words, perception is reality. It doesn't matter if Jake's a genius with a heart of gold if he looks unsure and unpolished. Sarah, on the other hand, projects confidence and competence, so that's what people believe about her. This isn't about faking it or being someone you're not. It's about understanding that the image you project shapes how others treat you. Think about it. Ever met someone who wasn't the most honest or kind but still commanded respect? Maybe they carried themselves with authority or spoke with unshakable confidence. That's the power of perception. In today's world, this is truer than ever. Scroll through Instagram or LinkedIn, and you'll see people curating their lives to look flawless, perfect vacations, killer outfits, or game-changing career moves. Are they really living that dream life 24/7? Probably not. But because they appear successful, they get likes, followers, and respect. So, how do you shape your image to command instant respect? Here are some practical tips, straight from Machiavelli's wisdom. Project confidence. Even if you're nervous, stand tall, make eye contact, and speak clearly. Fake it till you make it. People gravitate toward those who seem in control. Show virtue. Act with fairness, courage, and wisdom. These qualities scream leader and make others trust you. Stay calm under pressure. When things get heated, keep your cool. A calm demeanor in a crisis makes you look like you've got everything under control. Be consistent. Your actions should match your image. If you're all talk and no follow through, people will catch on fast. Surround yourself with winners. Hang out with respected, capable people. Their credibility rubs off on you. Let your actions speak. Don't brag about your wins, let them shine on their own. Humble confidence is magnetic. Here's the best part. You control your image. You don't need a fancy title or $1 million to look like someone worth respecting. Start small, fix your posture, practice your pitch, or stop apologizing for every little thing. Over time, you'll notice people treating you differently. They'll listen when you speak, seek your opinion, and maybe even get a little nervous around you. That's the Machiavelli magic at work. Do. Be decisive, own your choice. Imagine you're at a family reunion, and your cousins are arguing over where to go for dinner. Half want pizza, the other half are pushing for sushi. The clock's ticking, everyone's hungry, and the debate's going nowhere. You've got an opinion sushi sounds amazing, but you hesitate, worried someone might disagree. So, you stay quiet, and the group ends up at a mediocre diner because no one stepped up. You're kicking yourself later, thinking, why didn't I just say something? Machiavelli would have had a field day with this. He said, all courses of action are risky, so prudence is not in avoiding danger, it's impossible, but calculating risk and acting decisively. Make mistakes of ambition, not mistakes of sloth. Translation: stop overthinking and decide. Being decisive isn't just about picking sushi over pizza, it's about showing the world you're in charge of your own path. Decisiveness is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And when you flex that muscle, people notice. Think about the leaders you admire, CEOs, coaches, even your favorite teacher back in school. What do they have in common? They make decisions with confidence, even when the stakes are high. They don't waffle or second-guess themselves in public. That certainty earns respect because it signals strength. Here's why this matters. Indecision is a respect killer. Ever worked with someone who can't make up their mind? It's exhausting. They hem and haw, miss deadlines, and drag everyone else down with them. Studies back this up. Decisive leaders are consistently rated as more competent and trustworthy. It's not just a modern thing. It's wired into our biology. Back in the caveman days, the person who could quickly decide whether to fight or flee was the one who survived. Indecision? That got you eaten by a saber-toothed cat. So, how do you become more decisive? Start with these steps. Trust your gut. You don't need all the answers to make a call. Weigh the options quickly and go with what feels right. Embrace small risks. Practice making quick decisions in low-stakes situations, like choosing a restaurant or picking a movie. It builds confidence for bigger moments. Own your choices. Once you decide, commit fully. Even if it's not perfect, standing by your decision shows strength. Learn from mistakes. If a decision flops, don't dwell and analyze what went wrong and move on. Growth is respect-worthy. Let's go back to Jake, from our first story. After months of fading into the background, he decides to step up. During a team brainstorm, he speaks up with a bold idea for a new project. It's not perfect, but he delivers it with confidence. His boss notices, his colleagues nod, and suddenly, Jake's not invisible anymore. That one decisive moment shifts how the team sees him. Try this today. The next time you're faced with a choice big or small, don't overthink it. Pick a path, act on it, and own it. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting or telling your friend where you actually want to eat, decisiveness shows you're someone who takes charge. And trust me, people respect that. 3. Balance fear and love. Find the sweet spot. Let's talk about Lisa, a manager at a retail store. Lisa's the kind of boss everyone loves. She's always bringing donuts, giving extra breaks, and saying yes to every request. Sounds great, right? Except her team's starting to slack off. Deadlines are missed, inventory's a mess, and some employees are straight up taking advantage of her kindness. Lisa's too nice, and it's costing her respect. Enter Machiavelli, who drops this bombshell. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Now, before you start picturing yourself as a dictator barking orders, let's unpack this. Machiavelli isn't saying you should be a tyrant. He's saying that respect comes from a delicate balance of kindness and firmness. Too much love, like Lisa's endless generosity, makes you a pushover. Too much fear, think of a boss who rules by intimidation, breeds resentment. The sweet spot? Being someone people admire and take seriously. Machiavelli's point is rooted in human nature. People are loyal to leaders who reward good behavior, but also set clear boundaries. If you're only loved, people might walk all over you. If you're only feared, they'll hate you behind your back. The trick is to blend the two. Take a modern example. A great coach. They celebrate their team's wins, offer encouragement, and build camaraderie. That's the love part. But when a player skips practice or breaks the rules, they don't hesitate to bench them or demand extra laps. That's the fear part, not terror, but respect for consequences. The result? A team that loves their coach but also knows not to cross them. Here's how to apply this balance in your life. Reward good behavior. Show appreciation when people do well, whether it's a coworker nailing a project or a friend being there for you. A simple, great job goes a long way. Set clear boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no or call out bad behavior. If someone's taking advantage of you, address it calmly but firmly. Be fair and consistent. People respect predictability. If your rules apply to everyone equally, no one can accuse you of playing favorites. Master the art of no. Saying no doesn't make you mean it, shows you value your time and principles. A confident no can earn more respect than a reluctant yes. Let's revisit Lisa. After noticing her team's performance slipping, she decides to change her approach. She still brings donuts, because who doesn't love donuts? Number set. But she also starts holding weekly check-ins to set clear expectations. When an employee misses a deadline, she has a private, professional conversation about accountability. Within weeks, her team's productivity spikes, and they start looking to her as a leader, not just a buddy. In your own life, think about where you can strike this balance. Maybe you're too quick to say yes to favors, and it's draining you. Or maybe you're too rigid, and it's pushing people away. Find that sweet spot. Be kind, but don't let anyone mistake your kindness for weakness. That's how you command respect without losing your humanity. 4. Strategically, adapt yourself, be a lion and a fox. Meet Alex, the founder of a small fitness app. His company's growing fast, but then a giant competitor launches a similar product with a bigger budget and flashier features. Alex's team panics. Should they double down on their original plan or try something new? Alex could stick to his guns, but he knows the market's shifting. So, he pivots. He rebrands the app to focus on niche workouts for busy professionals, something the big competitor doesn't offer. The move pays off, and his company thrives. Machiavelli would have given Alex a high five. He said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves." In other words, you've got to be versatile. A lion's strength is impressive, but it's useless if it falls into a trap. A fox's cunning is great, but it won't scare off a wolf. To command respect, you need to be both strong when it's time to stand your ground, clever when it's time to pivot. Adaptability is a superpower in a world that's always changing. Think about it. Technology, trends, even social norms shift faster than you can say new iPhone. If you're stuck in one mode, always aggressive or always diplomatic, you'll get left behind. People respect those who can read the room, adjust their approach, and still come out on top. Take a real-world example. A politician navigating a crisis. One day, they're rallying a crowd with fiery speeches, lion mode. The next, they're negotiating behind closed doors with opponents, fox mode. By switching gears, they stay relevant and respected, no matter the situation. Here's how to channel your inner lion and fox. Read a situation. Pay attention to what's happening around you. Is it time to take charge or play it cool? Stay flexible. Don't cling to one way of doing things. If your strategy's not working, pivot without hesitation. Show strength when needed. Stand up for yourself or your team when the moment calls for it. A little backbone goes a long way. Use smarts to avoid traps. Anticipate problems and plan ahead. Being proactive shows you're always one step ahead. Back to Alex. His pivot wasn't just about saving his company, it showed his team and investors he could handle curveballs. They trusted him more because he proved he could adapt without losing his vision. In your life, think about where you might need to switch gears. Maybe you're stuck in a job that's not working. How can you pivot to a new role or skill? Or maybe a friendship's gone sour. Can you shift from being overly accommodating to setting firmer boundaries? Adapting doesn't mean giving up. It means staying in control, no matter what life throws at you. That's the kind of strength people respect. 5. Show generosity in a measured way. Let's talk about Mike. Mike's the guy who's always picking up the tab at dinner, lending money to friends and saying yes to every favor. He's loved by everyone until he's not. People start expecting his generosity, and when he can't deliver, because he's not a billionaire, they get annoyed. Worse, some friends stop respecting him because they see him as a pushover. Sound familiar? Machiavelli saw this coming centuries ago. He wrote, "It is wiser to have a reputation for meanness, which brings reproach without hatred, than to be compelled through seeking a reputation for liberality to incur a name for rapacity, which begets reproach with hatred." In plain English, it's better to be seen as stingy, but fair, than to give so much that people take you for granted or think you're desperate for their approval. Generosity is tricky. It feels good to give, whether it's your time, money, or praise, but overdo it, and you risk looking weak. People might start seeing you as a resource rather than a person. Machiavelli's advice? Be generous, but be smart about it. Give in ways that show strength and intention, not neediness. Think about a great teacher. They don't give every student an A, reward those who earn it. That selectivity makes their praise meaningful. When they do give an A, it's a big deal, and the whole class respects their judgment. Contrast that with a teacher who hands out as like candy. Sure, students might like them at first, but soon they're tuning out because the praise doesn't mean anything. Here's how to practice measured generosity. Choose wisely. Give to those who deserve it, people who show loyalty, effort, or respect. Set limits. Don't overextend yourself. If you're always saying yes, you'll burn out or get taken advantage of. Make it meaningful. A thoughtful gesture, a handwritten note, a specific compliment often means more than a grand one. Avoid entitlement. If people start expecting your generosity, pull back. Let them appreciate what you give. Let's go back to Mike. After noticing his friend's attitude shifting, he decides to change. He still picks up the tab sometimes, but only for close friends who reciprocate. When someone asks for a loan, he politely says he's tightening his budget, but offers advice instead. Suddenly, people start valuing his time and contributions more. His generosity, now selective, earns him respect instead of resentment. Next time you're tempted to go overboard with generosity, pause. Ask yourself, who deserves this? Will this enhance my respect or diminish it? A little restraint can turn your kindness into a powerful tool for building a reputation people admire. 6. Rely on your own arms. Be self-reliant. Meet Emma, a freelance graphic designer. Early in her career, she relied on a big client for most of her income. When that client suddenly pulled out, Emma was left scrambling. She could have panicked or begged for new gigs, but instead, she took a page from Machiavelli's book. She doubled down on her skills, built a killer portfolio, and started marketing herself directly to clients. Within months, she had a roster of loyal clients and total control over her career. Machiavelli said, "He who is the cause of another becoming powerful is the cause of his own destruction, for he loses his dominion by showing that he is dependent on the other." In other words, don't outsource your power. Relying on others, whether it's a boss, a partner, or even a friend, makes you vulnerable. True respect comes from standing on your own 2 feet. In The Prince, Machiavelli talks about rulers who use their own armies instead of mercenaries. Why? Because mercenaries fight for money, not loyalty. They'll ditch you or betray you if a better offer comes along. Your own army, loyal and trained by you, fights for your cause. In modern life, your arms are your skills, resources, and support system. The more self-reliant you are, the more respect you command. Think about someone you admire. Chances are, they're not leaning on others for every little thing. They've got their own skills, savings, or circle of trusted allies. That independence makes them magnetic. People know they're not easily shaken. Here's how to build your own arms. Invest in yourself. Learn new skills, whether it's coding, public speaking, or budgeting. The more you know, the less you need others. Build a loyal network. Surround yourself with reliable, supportive people, not, yes, men, but true allies who share your values. Take financial control. Save, invest, and live within your means. Financial independence gives you freedom to make bold choices. Own your mistakes. Don't blame others when things go wrong. Take responsibility, learn, and move forward. Emma's story is a perfect example. By investing in her skills and building her own client base, she became untouchable. Her clients respected her because she didn't need them, she chose to work with them. That's the kind of power that turns heads. In your life, think about where you're overly dependent. Maybe you rely on a coworker to cover for you or a friend to boost your confidence. Start building your own foundation. Learn that skill, save that emergency fund, or take charge of that project. When you rely on yourself, you project strength, and people can't help but respect that. So, there you have it. 6 powerful ways to command instant respect, straight from the mind of Niccolò Machiavelli. Let's recap. 1. Shape your perception. Craft an image that screams confidence and competence. 2. Be decisive. Make bold choices and own them. 3. Balance fear and love. Be kind but firm to earn loyalty and respect. 4. Adapt strategically. Be a lion when you need strength, a fox when you need cunning. 5. Give wisely. Show generosity, but make it meaningful and selective. 6. Rely on yourself. Build your own skills and resources to stand tall. These aren't just tips for ruling a kingdom, they're tools for ruling your life. Whether you're navigating a tough workplace, standing up to a pushy friend, or just trying to feel more in control, Machiavelli's wisdom gives you a roadmap. Let's go back to that boardroom moment from the start. Imagine you're there again, facing that high-stakes question. This time, you've got Machiavelli in your corner. You stand tall, project confidence, and deliver a clear, decisive answer. The room goes quiet not out of awkwardness, but out of respect. You've just turned a moment of pressure into a moment of power. That's what this is all about. Owning your space in the world. Respect isn't something you beg for or buy, it's something you command by being effective, adaptable, and true to your own strength. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, channel your inner Machiavelli. Be the prince or princess of your own story. If you found this video helpful, check out our Philosophies for Life playlist for more wisdom from history's greatest minds. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly doses of practical, life-changing insights. Thanks for watching, and here's to commanding respect in every corner of your life.